If you actually make more effort to produce better quality lifts every single time that you lift, you will find yourself making twice, 3 times, if not 10 times as much progress as you would by being the guy who doesn't put intention into his lifts when he goes and does his routine. I remember back, I think maybe it was about a week ago, and I was listening to this podcast of this guy. His name is Sam Ovens, and he's a guy who really focuses on productivity and building businesses and whatnot. A lot of modern and conventional wisdom can be tied and intermingled with fitness if you have the mind to kind of catch it and to make those connections. And that's something that my brain does fairly well. He said that just showing up is stupid. He said just showing up is stupid. And at first, when I heard this, I was a bit offended because I always tell you to just show up to the gym. Just show up. Don't miss a day. Go 3 days, 4 days a week. Slowly increase your volume and start to get better in your lifts. Start to be more consistent in your lifts, I mean. And that's very true. But once he started to explain himself, and then I thought about my journey in the gym for this past 10 years, I learned that I always focused on the quality of my lifts. I didn't want to go to the gym. I was tired of shit. I think it was probably after my 8-hour shift that may have turned to a 9-hour shift because of HVAC, or maybe it was one of those slow days, but I was doing maintenance HVAC at the time. And I didn't want to do my pool day, but I knew I had to do it. So I went and did it. I showed up to the gym. I just showed up and I started doing my workout. And on this journey, and especially my course, I teach this. You need to be as vulnerable with yourself as possible with how exactly you feel and not fake it. Because if you think that you can get away with tricking yourself and gaslighting yourself into do something, you're wrong. So I was very vulnerable with myself, and I'm like, I feel like shit. I don't feel like being here. I don't want to do the workout. And then it just clicked. If I don't want to be here, but I have to be here, why not do something that's so challenging that it would make it worthwhile? Why would I do a weight that I know that I can do already? If you don't understand the power of this thought, then you will later as you continue your gym journey. But it just clicked to me. Why should I stay here and do some shit that I know I can already do if I'm forced to be here? I should at least make it fun and make it a challenge. So instead of picking up the 35 pounds that I do for my regular curls, I picked up the 40s. Later down the road, 40s turned to 45s. 45s turned to 50s for hammers. As I started to level up in my fitness, as I started to level up in my curl, in my bicep curl, I realized that the reason that I was so consistent is because I was always chasing the next level. I was always chasing something. And I realized that entire chase of chasing the next level was me being intentional for my lifts. And then I thought, wait a minute, the reason that I was actually more consistent than most people can say in their entire lives, 10 years jacked, 10 years being in shape, is because I was intentional with my lifts. Intention and showing up both go hand in hand. And the lesson is exactly that. Being intentional and showing up to the gym and being consistent are almost the same fucking thing. And if not, they feed into each other. They're not the same thing, but they literally feed into each other. If you don't know who I am, my name's Chike, and I've been jacked for most of my life because I've been consistent in the gym for 10 whole years. I've always trained since I was younger. I started off very skinny and I started to build muscle within my 4-year, 3-year mark into my gym journey, and I've just been consistent ever since. And the reason why I've been so consistent is because I'm just a gym rat at heart. I'm just a natural athlete. I've always been in love with the gym. I've always been in love with fitness. And I'm just probably one of few people online that think that that is the natural state of man. I think man was meant to be athletes. Man was meant to be athletic. You're not meant to be 300 pounds. You're meant to have the physique that you want. You're meant to be built like an athlete and to be built with more lean mass. Someone who's physically capable. And my mission is to help you understand and awaken to who you truly are, because society gaslit you and told you that it was okay to be the body type you are. And nobody in your life held you accountable. And none of these influencers and these people online are actually teaching you how to love fitness, how to actually play the long game. They teach you how to get to the top fast as hell. That's what they teach you. They teach you to eat cocoa pebbles in the morning so that you can raise your insulin levels and then accumulate more fat while you try and bulk. Next thing you know, you have heart problems. Next thing you know, you have bad blood pressure. People tell you that it's okay to eat as long as you just eat in moderation, but little do you know that the foods that you eat are causing you to develop a food addiction. This society and the influencers of the world, like, they don't actually target the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is your mind, and it's the principles that you follow. And I'm here to actually remedy that. I'm here to actually help change who you are. I'm here to turn you into a gym rat, and one that actually achieves an aesthetic, lean, mass built body the natural, right way. Because truth be told, you're not going to get the body you want unless you're in it for the long game. You're just not. So with that being said, we need to talk about being intentional in your reps and in your sets, because that's the only way that you're actually going to stay consistent and therefore grow in the gym. So the core point that I want to come across to you is, if you agree, and if you were just to say, obviously you agree with me by now, but if you were to agree that just showing up is the main point of growth, is that's all you have to do, then that same logic also implies that doing the same weight for the same amount of reps will cause improvement. So let's say that you can do, let's say that you can do 6 reps of bench on the bench press, right? Would it make sense to just keep doing that for your long, maybe it's not a 10-year journey, but for the rest of your life, just the same amount of weight for the exact same reps? No, obviously, right? You would then start to probably increase the weight, or at least, if you just are in love with 135, you would at least probably do more reps, right? It's just common sense.